to the sky, feet to the ground. I give a what the hater do. If I do not try, then I will have failed, and I can't afford not to make a move. I was told I was not good enough. I was told I was not capable. I had to sit and just ask myself, what you gonna let this make of you roll? Everything that I've been working for is right in front of me. I would not ever let go. Using negativity as energy for me as I travel alone on this road. They didn't see the vision, they didn't understand. I went the distance, no helping hand. Now my gift got me sitting on top, and I'm about to show them now they cannot hold me down. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours, so what will you choose? If you give it your all, you got nothing to lose. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is mine, so what did I choose? Look, I grind every day, I got something to prove. Move. This'll make you move. This'll make you move. This'll make you move. This'll make you move.
A little holiday edition of Nighttime at Noon, President's Day. The Golden Knights coming off a busy stretch in their schedule, and they'll finally get a little bit of practice time this week. The schedule this month's been pretty light for them, but they'll make up for that, more than make up for it in March and April. Dave Goucher, Gary Lawless with you today on this Monday. Great to have you with us on Fox Sports Las Vegas and also on all of our social media channels as well, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Lawman, what's shaking? What's rolling around in your coconut today after seeing the Golden Knights here over the last few games?
They were a little better last night.
Yeah.
I guess Jack Eichel is the biggest story, and it's been 3 games now. Picks up an assist in game 2, and then last night a goal and an assist, and that's he's now a point-a-game player. Look at that. He only scored 2 goals last year. Think about that. He only played in 21 games, but
and didn't have any his last 13 with Buffalo.
Yeah,
it kind of went through a dry spell.
Yeah. He was injured, so it struck me yesterday that he probably just woke up, in San Jose and was like, "Wow, I get to play hockey again today."
Yeah,
he's played 3 games now in a row, and that's got to be so much fun for him after what he's been through. And I just think he got a little, game 1 he was fine. Game 2 he was better. Game 3 he was even better. Little things you start to notice: his shift length. He's not getting off the ice. He's not deferring to other people as much as he was at the very start. He's the Golden Knights aren't a great passing team. He's a really good passer. He's easily the best passer on this team, both forehand and backhand. He really passes the puck well with the backhand. And there was one they had the puck in he got the puck in the San Jose zone, and he kind of wheeled around. He held the puck for 12 seconds. That's a long time in the National Hockey League to have the puck, and not on a power play. It was 5-on-5.
Right before he scored, right?
Yeah, and not have someone come and take it away from you. So I just think that, Kelly McCrimmon and Ryan McGill, I both heard them say, 5 to 10 games, and Kelly said to me 10 games he thinks it'll be before Jack is back to where he's going to be. And then the other thing that I'm really excited to see is he's still young. Like, he's going to grow as a player. He's going to get even better. We don't really know what the ceiling is for Jack Eichel because his development, and that's what it is, development when you're that young, has been delayed a little bit. So that'll be fun to see.
We were talking with Ryan McGill yesterday morning and before the game, and he said it's one thing to have a horse and just have the horse run around the track. It's a whole different thing to put the horse in the gate with other horses snorting away, and then there's contact on the track. And, we kind of, it was his version of you can practice with your teammates, take some contact and practice, once you get out there for real, it's something altogether different. But it was great to see him get some results last night, and I think for him too, he, as elite a player as he is and as good as we know he can be, which is among the best in the world, I think he said it was a relief. He told our Ashley Weiss when he scored. He's somebody that's when he's going, he's right up there among the best at what he does. But
and it was kind of a
mentally
muff.
Get over that.
It wasn't,
didn't get all of it.
Didn't get all of it.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see some pretty great moments from Jack Eichel. And there's kind of like a little bit of a full circle here. His first game was against the Colorado Avalanche. And a little note for our listeners, because Dan Duva did some digging on this. Nathan McKinnon said something to him before the first face-off the other night, and they've worked out together in the past. Part of that crew that Crosby puts together and goes to Colorado in the summer, and Jack's been there a couple times. Nate just said to him, "Good to have you back." It wasn't like a big. So it wasn't a soliloquy. It wouldn't have been if you and I hadn't seen each other in a year.
What have you been up to?
Yeah.
How's it working out for you? Just great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Well, for the Golden Knights, a much-needed win. I think yesterday in San Jose, it was a game, if you looked at it on paper, a game you expected the Golden Knights to win. Not only just by how it's gone this year for San Jose, but just by the way that the all-time series has gone in the regular year between these teams. It had a different feel to it, I thought, yesterday, Gary. Just, far from a capacity crowd. Yeah. Sharks are having a bad year. They've lost now 10 of 12, including 6 in a row. But, hey, look, all that being said, the Golden Knights were not thrilled with their last game before that against the Kings. They managed to get a point out of it. They wanted to see more hunger in their game, more urgency in their game, and it appeared they were able to get that.
Just two things on the Sharks before we talk about the Knights for a second. You wonder if Doug Wilson could go back in time. Would he have, he signed Evander Kane to that 7-year by $7 million contract, ostensibly closing the door on Joe Pavelski as a San Jose Shark when he made that deal. Would he? Obviously, he wishes he hadn't made that signing, and then firing Pete DeBoer. It's Bob Bugner's a good coach, but they haven't had any success under him. And if they miss the playoffs this year, which they probably will, I think it's the first time that they'll have missed it 3 years in a row.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good mark. And Doug's battling some health issues right now. I don't mean to. I have all the respect for him in the world and have a friendly relationship with him. I'm not poking him. It's nobody bats 1,000. Those are two that he's a Hall of Famer GM. Those are two he'd like to have back.
Well, the money, we had a graphic on TV yesterday, Gary, that they have wrapped up, and Erik Karlsson, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, Brent Burns, and Logan Couture.
Yeah,
I want to say off the cuff, $34 million committed to those four guys. Carlson's hurt again. He's another 5 years left on his deal, and it's always
they're gonna have to buy him out.
Yeah, which will just so 5 years is 10 right on the buyout. Yeah. It's twice the term. Some of the moves you make are the best ones. Some of the ones you don't make.
Some of the moves you don't make are the best moves. Yes,
there was a strong push.
Yeah. We talk for a living, eh?
For Erik, yeah. That's amazing. I do. String a sentence together. Oh, there was a strong push to get Erik Karlsson in a different organization a few years ago, and you wonder now if that had worked out and how it would have changed the course of things, right?
Well, you go back to that. We were in L.A. and on the deadline, and we were waiting to speak to Gerard Gallant, and they said Gerard will be right out. So we're all watching Twitter and TSN on our phones, and we're like, okay, they didn't do anything. And then they as they do every year, they go, okay, there's about 10 deals or 20 deals that are backed up. Central Registry has to clear every deal, and there's some backed up. So then a little while later, Turk comes out, and by that time we'd checked our phones, and they had acquired Thomas Tatar from the Detroit Red Wings, and Turk talked about that and all that good stuff. We later learned that that the Golden Knights were in on Karlsson right to the last second, but Kelly McCrimmon had said to Ken Holland, "What do you want for Tatar?" And they came to terms, and then Kelly said, "Okay, some of those pieces I have in another deal right now. If that deal falls apart, I'll circle back." And so, literally, under a minute, like finally things go to an end with Ottawa, and Kelly and Pierre Dorian agree that they're not going to make a trade. Kelly hangs up, phones Holland, and says, "I've got those pieces. Do you still have Tatar?" "Yes." "You got a deal?" "We got a deal." Done. Just like that.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to say that that's the best thing that ever happened to him, but this is how I've always looked at that. Would Erik Karlsson have put the Golden Knights over the top? Would he have? They made the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
Lost in 5 games to the Washington Capitals. Would Karlsson have been enough to get them? Would they have won the Stanley Cup? And you can have that debate. We'll never know. That would have made it all worthwhile.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yep, no question.
But then and then maybe they wouldn't have signed him to the extension. What did he sign? What was his deal?
$92 million. 8 years, $92 million. 11 and a half a year.
Yeah,
so,
maybe they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Well, and you look at it now. So they probably would not have traded for Mark Stone. They wouldn't have probably signed Pietrangelo.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had the money to do all that.
No,
right?
no, for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing how it works out sometimes. But yeah, so that that rivalry has lost a little bit of its luster just by the virtue of San Jose being down here for the last few years.
Vegas has beat them 10 in a row.
10 in a row, and I can't believe 17-1-3 all time in the head-to-head matchup. I didn't realize this till after the game. I was reading something this morning. Vegas has not lost in that building since we know what happened. But they haven't lost since that night, right? So they've been able to dominate, be it in Vegas or in San Jose.
You called your band Double Minor.
Yes.
Why didn't you call it?
Well, the first show I was with the band, I said, by the way, not a major.
That's what it should have been. To
called. The small gathering, I said probably not even a penalty. And I think people were looking at me like, what the hell's he talking about? So, well, if you're a Golden Knights fan.
I knew what you were talking about.
If you're a Golden Knights fan, you know what we're talking about. We have some interesting notes we're going to get to a little later in the show about Pete DeBoer. Speaking of San Jose and the Golden Knights, and Pete's on the threshold of a milestone in terms of coaching victories. He had a funny exchange with the media a little bit earlier today. So we'll get to that a little bit later on in the program. So we talked about Jack Eichel last night, Gary. That was certainly one of the big highlights for the Golden Knights, a goal and an assist for Jack in the win over the Sharks. How about Logan Thompson, right? A guy that, he plays in Brandon, goes and plays university hockey in St. Catharines, Ontario, and talk about the road less traveled to get to his first win.
So we should explain that, first of all, because, when we say, he went and played university hockey in Canada, people are like, well, all kinds of guys play university hockey in the United States. It's way different. There aren't scholarships per se for Canadian hockey players to play at Canadian universities. So the U.S. route is way more attractive. So all the good players go there. But the level of play, it's called the CIS, is actually quite high, because if you play major junior hockey in Canada, if you played for the Brandon Wheat Kings, you have scholarships from the team. The team puts in, for every year you play in major junior, they cover your tuition for 1 year going forward until you sign a pro contract. Once you sign a pro deal, that deal goes to the wayside. So they're older guys, guys that haven't made pro guys, but it's still good hockey. Like, that's a high level. Marty Williamson, who's the coach at Brock, worked really hard to get Logan there, and then once he got there, quickly realized he wasn't going to be there for very long. Logan's talented. His competitive streak is his best quality, and we saw that last night in the third period. San Jose started to get to the blue ice, and he had to battle to follow the puck, to keep it out, to stay, to protect his area, and he did a great job of that last night.
Not many players, though, Gary, fair to say, he played parts of 4 years in Brandon and then go play university. No. I think of Derek Ryan, who did it, right?
Steve Ruchin played at the University of Western Ontario, but the numbers are low.
So 3 years ago, he's playing at Brock University in St. Catharines, and last night picks up his first win in the NHL. Of course, there's a lot of steps between there.
Yeah.
Almost a full season. Did play a full season in South Carolina in the East Coast League, and then we know what he's done in Henderson, and especially last year with the best goalie in the AHL. So Just was hoping last night. Was hoping he'd get the shutout.
Yeah.
But didn't happen. But more importantly, the team was able to break through and end that 3-game losing streak. So,
well, he was important. For me, he was the first star.
Yep.
Him and Eichel, 1A and 1B last night. If he doesn't, he makes 4 point blankers in the first period that if they go by, who knows what happens to San Jose. Like, one of the things that happens to a team like San Jose, when they get down, they're used to losing and they lose the fight. And Thompson made sure that didn't happen last night. He didn't let San Jose get excited.
Yeah, Nieto, Hurdle, Gregor, and Couture.
Yeah.
All with clean break-ins.
And then Meyer had, so those are all like breakaways.
Yeah.
Meyer had a couple of chances from in tight, and Hurdle, like there were a bunch of great A's in that first period that he turned them all aside.
Nighttime at noon from our studios at City National Arena. Dave Goucher alongside Gary Lawless. A reminder for you that be the first to experience a whole new era of Big West basketball. Gather your friends and pack the brand new Dollar Loan Center in Henderson for the 2022 Hercules Tires Big West Basketball Championships presented by the Hawaiian Islands. 20 men's and women's teams will take the court March 8th through the 12th, fighting to take the Big West to the next level. Order your tickets now. You can go to dollarloancenter.com/Big West tickets or call 702-645-4259. Lots still to come here on Nighttime at noon. We mentioned Pete DeBoer on the threshold of a coaching milestone. We'll get to that. We'll also have an update from Golden Knights practice, a bit of an optional practice here earlier today. So we'll get into that and take a look ahead as well. The Golden Knights with a little breather in their schedule, but it's the last breather they're really going to get for the rest of the regular season. More after this on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
To the sky, feet to the ground. I give a what a hater do. If I do not try, then I will have failed, and I can't afford not to make a move. I was told I was not good enough. I was told I was not capable. I had to sit and just ask myself, what you gonna let this make of you roll? Everything that I've been working for is right in front of me. I would not ever let go. Use the negativity as energy for me as I travel alone on this road. They didn't see the vision, they didn't understand. I went the distance, no helping hand. And my gift got me sitting on top, and I'm about to show them that they cannot hold me there. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours, so what will you choose? If you give it your all, you got nothing to lose. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is mine, so what did I choose? Look, I find every day I got something to prove. Chains, I'm moving along, but it's calling my name. Did I inherit this pain? Keep pulling me close every time I'm restrained. I did not come for no games. I give a what the rule is. I feel like I'm going insane. I feel like I'm about to lose it. I'm on the move like a runaway. No turning back, I pick up the pace. I do not care what the others say. Listen, I told you that I did not come to play. We about to take it to higher heights. History's waiting when I arrive. Today is the dawn of a new, and I'm about to show them that they cannot hold me down. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours.
As we roll along here on a Monday from our studios at City National Arena, Dave Goucher alongside Gary Lawless. A reminder for you, the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson is opening real soon, less than a month away, and the arena has a brand new website, of course, thedollarloancenter.com, for upcoming events, seating charts, arena policies, and lots more, including your chance to purchase tickets for the first events in the building. Be there as history is made for the Big West Basketball Championships, the first Vegas Nighthawks game, and the first Henderson Silver Knights game in that building, all coming up in the next few weeks. Visit thedollarloancenter.com to learn more.
Well, you're a man of music.
I am.
And whoever wrote that promo for the next Golden Knights game, excellent work.
Yeah.
Featuring Glenn Campbell, By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Glenn Campbell song?
That would be up there. Rhinestone Cowboy is that him? Or is that Chris?
No, that's
him,
him,
I like
1975.
Yep, 75.
Yep.
What's the other one about?
Wichita Lineman.
Wichita Lineman.
Pretty good. I think that's his
one.
first big hit.
Yes.
Came out in 68.
Yeah. I'm not a big I love his music. I'm not
Yeah.
a connoisseur of it, but I love those two, Wichita Lineman and Rhinestone Cowboy. Right up there.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It is good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, Logan Thompson is going to join us here at the bottom of the hour. Yeah, so we'll talk with the most recent, became the seventh different Golden Knights goaltender to pick up a win last night.
So we've got LB, Laurent Brossoit, and we've got LT, Logan Thompson. So you put them together and you get BLT.
BLT, yeah.
Yes. So that's what I've been calling the goaltending combination.
I like that.
BLT.
I wouldn't.
Not a
have
big
thought of
BLT guy because I'm not a big bacon guy. I know everyone will find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
No, I believe. I'm not a big. I don't know if I'm not a big BLT guy either. I don't. Yeah, I kind of go in a different direction. Hey, so they had practice today. The Golden Knights we're looking out. There's still some trickles of a couple of players out there.
There's pucks at the ice still.
Still
yep.
pucks, some cones, a couple of people. From our vantage point here, one
Zach
player
Whitecloud.
was Zach Whitecloud.
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, which was Pete DeBoer had an interesting comment on him this morning. He said, a lot of the attention, rightly so, goes to Mark Stone is out injured, Max Pacioretty was out, William Karlsson was out, among others, quite obviously. Jack Eichel just made his Golden Knights debut. He said, but we miss guys like Zach Whitecloud and Alec Martinez as much, if not more so, than we miss these other guys because of their ability to defend and play hard minutes for this team. And, Whitecloud is the second time he's missed significant time this year, and we know the story with Martinez hasn't played in 3 months.
Well, a couple of things. You and I did a little bit on Braden McNabb last night on the TV show, and part of my prep for that was to talk to Shane Knighty. Shane has a really good eye for, he played defense in the National Hockey League for a long time and really knows the position well. And it's really fun to hear Shane talk after a game about the way a guy played for one of the other teams. And I was asking him about McNabb, and then kind of took it one step farther because the Norris Trophy has kind of become like a scoring race.
Yeah.
Which defenseman finishes with the most points, he wins the Norris more often than not. And it really ignores the defensive defensemen out there like Jacob Slavin with Carolina. The guy's been very good. Alec Martinez last year was as good as anybody in that role, and McNabb has been, for Vegas this year, tremendous. Always near the top of the league in shots blocked and hits, and plays against the very best players on the opposition. And now with Martinez gone and Whitecloud gone, because you would kind of go, Pietrangelo, McNabb, Martinez, and Whitecloud all together in some form of group to defend against the opposition's best. Two of those guys are out.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, significant. And, I wondered, Gary, and we kind of touched on it, as you said on Lawless and Order last night. There was a time earlier this year where, look, Braden McNabb has never been the most fleet of foot, but he battles, and I think he welcomes the tough assignments, obviously not afraid to block shots, leads the league in block shots. But, I wondered at times, in a league that's gotten faster and faster and faster, was he going to be able to still be effective?
Yeah.
Well, he has been. He's been to the point where people a lot smarter than us said, hey, would like to have you here for another 3 years.
Well, I think that the coaching staff, in particular Ryan McGill, it would be hard to put a value on what Braden McNabb does for you.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is that, he's tough. and he will play the hard game. He's not a chirper. He doesn't waste any energy on that. But you do something to one of his teammates, he takes your number and he looks for you and exacts revenge. That is so important.
Yeah.
And, again, Shane would be way better to talk about that. But you're on that bench and something happens to one of your teammates and Big Three, throws his legs over the boards and goes and does something about it. It sends a message to the opposition. If you want to be cheap, that's fine. We're going to exact revenge. We're gonna make you pay for that. There's going to be a cost associated with that type of thing. You can say all you want that you don't like fighting, and hockey's a violent game, and it is when you go right to the very base of it, there is intimidation involved. Yeah. You want that piece of ice, I want that piece of ice. You want that puck, I want that puck. And McNabb is an intense leader in that regard.
There's intimidation now in different ways, right?
Yeah.
Nobody really fights much anymore. It's not a part of the game.
Yeah.
But his ability, and how many times have we seen it over the last now 5 years? If you're a guy coming down that right side, his left side, head down, look out.
Yeah.
And that is a different way to be intimidating as a team.
And does it cleanly, but does it it's heavy.
Yeah. And he's 6'4", whatever, 220, solid as they come. But yeah, he's been terrific for them. And probably had to be even more so when you pull Whitecloud and Martinez out of the lineup. It's been one of those years, Gary, and I don't know. So what they still have, what did I jot down? They still have 5 regulars out, right?
Yeah.
With Stone, Patrick, Whitecloud, Martinez, and Robin Leonard. It might be one of those seasons. Who knows? I don't know if they're going to be able to get everybody healthy. They haven't had everyone healthy since the first game of the year. It seemed like they were heading in a good direction. Now Stone's out. We're not sure when he's going to be able to play again. Martinez, we haven't seen. I think you try to take the positives with Martinez, that he practices pretty much every day, what we've seen, but unable to return to play. And I tell you, I felt terrible for Nolan Patrick the other night. With just, we know his history, and to go down the way he did, you just have to cross everything you can cross that this isn't going to be another prolonged absence for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just back to McNabb, if the Golden Knights, if they hang around and right now as the team is playing, I'm not sure how far they go the way they're going right now. Now they're going to get some of these pieces back for sure. So I do expect them to round a corner and to elevate their game and to be a dangerous team come playoff time. But I think if that happens, I think you will look back to what McNabb has done. Has he missed one game? One game this year?
Yes.
He's played in 51.
No, he's played in all of them. He's played in all of them.
Okay.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Colasar had been him and Colasar.
Yes.
Colasar was sat out. Yeah, he's played every game.
So, there's a case to be made that he's their MVP.
Right up there.
Yep. He's right in the mix. Him and Stevenson.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
sure.
Those are the guys that you would consider.
Yeah, for sure. There every night, reliable, no nights off, and consistently has been good. And to your point, Gary, we kind of are open on TV last night because, again, in talking with Ryan McGill yesterday morning about them trying to find urgency in their game, he said, here's how you find urgency. Open up your phone and look at the standings.
Yeah.
That's where your urgency comes from. So, I'm looking at it right now. The Golden Knights going to yesterday's games, they were 2 back. They were 4 back of Calgary. Now they're 2 back. The Flames have ripped off 9 in a row. So they've got a 2-point lead on Vegas with 3 games in hand, by the way.
Yeah.
There was an 11-point swing between Calgary and Vegas in a 12-day period before last night. Going into yesterday, the Golden Knights were 3 points out of 9th in the West. Now they've got a little bit more of a cushion with a 5-point edge on 9th place. Anaheim, same amount of games played. But that being said, they are right in the thick of it. I think there was a stretch earlier this year where despite all the injuries, you figured out to a degree it's a foregone conclusion they're going to be in the playoffs. I still think they're going to be a playoff team.
I do too.
But they're in a battle for positioning, be it number 1 in the Pacific or somewhere in the top 3, but also to make sure they stay somewhere in that top 8.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think that finishing second or third in the Pacific is a terrible thing. I think that I wouldn't want to play someone I wouldn't want to grab Minnesota in the first round.
No.
Like whoever is going to be that wild card spot from the Central. I think it's going to be. I think there's
Nashville as of now.
Yeah.
Right. They're the first.
Yeah, Nashville's
wild
kind
card
of faded just a touch of late.
Yeah.
So that's.
Right now, the old right now it will be Vegas, Edmonton. But, I mean, obviously, there's 31 games to go, and I'm just playing the game. That would be the 2-3, but that could change by tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are. There was. They're in a spot now, and Pete DeBoer touched on this a few weeks ago. He said, "I know we're in first, but I'm not quite sure because of all the games in hand." Teams
the points percentage had them.
Calgary's gone right by them.
Yeah,
winning
they were
9-0.
still in first at that time, but Calgary had all those games in hand, and they have reeled them off.
It is nighttime at noon with Dave Goucher and Gary Lawless. Logan Thompson heading over to the studio. We will step aside and catch up with the most recent Vegas goaltender to pick up a win. His first in the NHL came last night, and we will chat with Logan Thompson after this on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
To the sky, feet to the ground. I give a what a hater do. If I do not try, then I will have failed, and I can't afford not to make a move. I was told I was not good enough. I was told I was not capable. I had to sit and just ask myself, what you gonna let that make of you roll? Everything that I've been working for is right in front of me. I will not ever let go. Using negativity as energy for me as I travel alone on this road.
Great to have you with us here on Nighttime at Noon. A reminder for your Golden Knights fans, if you need even more hockey, make sure to check out one of the newest teams in town still, the Henderson Silver Knights of the American Hockey League. Single game, group, and mini suite tickets for home games throughout this 21-22 season. Still on sale. Contact the Henderson Silver Knights ticketing team at 702-645-4259. You can also visit HendersonSilverKnights.com to learn more. Dave Goucher, Gary Lawless, and we are joined by Somebody who's done a lot of damage for the Henderson Silver Knights over the years. Logan Thompson joining us, of course, the reigning goalie of the year in the AHL, but a huge moment for him last night, picking up his first win in the NHL. Logan, congratulations. Give me a ballpark number on the amount of text you got on your phone after the game last night.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could tell you. It's a lot of people reaching out.
Over 100?
Yeah, I'd say around 100.
Around 100?
We'll go around 100.
All right.
Yeah, people from back home, old coaches, teachers, friends. It was, really good to see, and just really thankful for the opportunity.
One stands out. One of those texts that sort of stands out that was pretty meaningful.
No, I think they all mean the same. I mean, they're all really special just for them. Those people don't have to text me and have to reach out, and they did, so it means a lot.
Your story, I think, is fascinating to get to this point last night. But Brandon, and then you go to Brock University. Was there a time I guess everyone has their doubts. Did you ever think this might, the NHL dream might not happen, or did you try to stay focused on kind of the light at the end of the tunnel?
No, definitely. I think after my overage year in Brandon, when I got no interest, I thought, okay, my career is over for NHL wise, and I decided to go to a new province in Ontario with Brock and just try something new and just have some fun, and wasn't even thinking about pro hockey, just having some fun being a university student. And that's kind of my mindset once junior ended. It's
funny, Marty Williamson he was your coach there, for those that don't know. He said as soon as he saw you after a couple of games, he's like, he's going to be here for 1 year, and there's going to be pro hockey in his future. He knew it. Did he know it before you?
He might have. He had my back a lot there. I really loved playing for Marty, and he had a lot of. He was bringing a lot of scouts to come watch me play, which I was really thankful for. And we had a really strong team there that year, so we got some attention. And I'm really thankful for Brock University and Marty for sure.
Tell me about playing for the South Carolina Stingrays. What was that year like for you in Charleston, South Carolina?
Oh, I loved it there.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a really fun
great
spot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, they again. I mean, I can't say anything bad about any of the places I've played, but no, I loved it there. The fans were diehard, and like I said, you're by the beach, and it's an awesome spot. So I really couldn't complain. And I think if you're playing in the East Coast, that's definitely one of the best spots to be.
I was going to say it'd be like the Vegas of the East Coast Hockey League in terms of not Vegas, but
it's a little quieter.
Yeah, but still, great nightlife, great places to eat by the beach.
Yeah, tons of restaurants.
A lot of tourism, great vibe there.
Yeah, no, I might just go back just like a little vacation. It's a great spot. I love it there.
I spent my first 2 years broadcasting in scenic Wheeling, West Virginia in the East Coast League.
I got you beat.
I heard that's a good spot.
Yeah,
I was in Thunder Bay. I was in Thunder Bay in the Colonial League.
Also a great spot.
I love Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
Colonial League was one step above the Federal League, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, so first off, there's not a lot of lefty goalies. There's a fair amount, but it's. So you grew up watching who? Who did you look at and say, I'd love to model my game after him?
Growing up from Calgary, I was a big Kiprusoff fan.
Yeah.
Kind of seeing what he did with the Calgary team and just being that backbone, and he stole a lot of games for him, and even like his whole mental game. Every time he got scored on, you could never tell if that guy was mad or upset. He was so calm in the net, and I really like to kind of be and like him as I kind of continue my career. He's someone that I really looked up to and admired his game a lot.
We forget how good he was because.
Yeah.
His teams weren't very good. They had maybe one good run. 04, I think.
Yeah,
they went
carried that
deep.
team to the final.
Yeah, but
right?
for the most part, he kind of struggled in the shadows there. Thomas Hurdle say something to you last night?
I don't know. I don't.
You don't think so? No, I thought that after he made a save on him at one point in time, he turned around and he looked at you anyways. And from where we are in San Jose, it's hard to tell. If anyone's so, there's no chirping of you last night.
I tunnel vision. I don't know.
No kidding.
I would look at those guys. They're just yeah.
And who on the ice was helping you and kind of encouraging you last night?
I mean, I think the whole team. These guys have been really good, and they're great. I really love playing here for these guys, and the whole decor and forward group. They told me before the game they were gonna play hard, and they did, and it was awesome. And I'm really just thankful to be here.
You come off the ice in San Jose, and it's that you come off at the corner. When does Mike Rosati when do you run into him?
He came into the dressing room.
Into the dressing room? How excited was he?
He was really happy for me.
Yeah.
And I've known Rosie now since my first year at
D-Camp.
So no, it's been awesome, and he's been here since the start of me. So it's awesome.
Logan Thompson joining us on Nighttime at Noon, fresh off his first win in the NHL last night, a victory 4-1 over the San Jose Sharks. So you get into the third period. And, I was thinking to myself, boy, this story's going to be unbelievable, even better if he pitches a shutout. Were you thinking that at all? Or take me through kind of the goal they scored on you, which kind of was a fluky, bit of a strange play before it, right?
No, I don't think I was thinking about a shutout. I was just don't blow it, Like, you're up 3-0 or 2-0, don't do it now, right? Those games can happen. So I just wanted to get the win. And, yeah, it was an unfortunate goal. I think, we all kind of thought it'd be a penalty, and then, he made a nice pass, and it happens. So
tell me about the relationship. So, the goaltenders, they kind of have their own little unique union, if that's lack of a better phrase, but yourself, along with LB, Robin Leonard, and what's that like to kind of be among the other two here and trying to, and also try to improve your own career and work your way up the ladder?
Yeah, I mean, they're two really experienced guys. They've been in the league for tons of years, and they're both very calm on how they play. Especially LB is very poised in his game. So I'm just trying to, same with when Flower was here, just steal things from each guy's game and throw it into my own, and hopefully that can make me better, and hopefully I can find ways to help this team.
Do you pick? What have you taken? Can you pick something from each guy? You took this from Fleury, this from Leonard, this from Brossoit. Mixture?
Well, yeah, I mean, with Flower, it's just his compete level, right? And the guy never quits. So I was even watching him in practice, right? He was just having fun, and I think that's kind of what I'm trying to do this year, just have some fun and always compete. And with Lenny and LB, they're just so positional, and they trust their bodies. They're both big guys, so that's something that I've been trying to do as well, be a little bit more calm and not so sporadic in the net.
What I saw Brossoit was the last guy that kind of got to you in the handshake line last night. What's the conversation between you two guys at that moment?
He was just really happy for me.
Yeah.
He just said congrats, and I don't even know what he said. I think he said "kids the goal." I don't even know what he said. He was just happy for me, and I kind of zoned out.
Yeah,
I was just happy.
Excellent. And who did you reach out to last night after the game? You call your mom and dad?
Call my dad.
Yeah.
Or I texted him. It was late, so he went to bed. So I'll call him this morning.
And have you talked to him?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. Skating.
Yeah.
You were skating, or he was skating?
I was
skating. You were busy.
Yeah,
evidently, you were on the ice before. What's it been like for you here, Logan, just to try to, like last year you had a great year in Henderson, win goalie of the year. Where's your mindset now? Like everyone that's been through the AHL, your goal is to take that next big step. How do you approach that on a day-to-day basis right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to stay up here, and I want to just help this organization as best as I can. Last year was good, but I still think that there's people that, doubting, and, I only played 6 teams, or, it was a fluke year. So I still got to go down there and keep proving to other people that I belong and I can play at the highest level.
What do you like about the American League, and what do you like better about the National Hockey League? Come on.
I think this is just where I've dreamed of playing as the NHL, right? As a kid, you wake up, and I'd always turn on SportsCenter and watch the highlights and wanted to be there. So I think it's just kind of, I'm starting to hopefully live that dream, and it's awesome.
It's interesting when you think about the American League, and Gary spent a lot of years covering the AHL. I spent 5 years in Providence in the American League, and a couple of years on the coast. It's just so much different, right? The times on the buses, you're together all the. What I remember is you seem to be together all the time. Long bus rides, the team meals, in the hotel, but there was kind of a camaraderie, I think, that's formed about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely around the guys a lot more.
Yeah.
You're sharing. You have roommates in the hotel rooms, and you're on the bus together, right? It's not like kind of up here. I think it's good because, I mean, we're a lot younger down there, right? So I think it helps us mature and become more of a family and learn how to be good teammates. I definitely think that helps you take the next step coming to the NHL.
So you work on your game now, and you mentioned Mike Rosati does a great job with all the goaltenders. What do you work on? If you had a hit list, what are you still trying to improve on a day-to-day basis?
Stopping the puck.
The basics of the position.
Yeah.
But technically, do you
just staying bigger?
Okay.
I think that I can get a little low sometimes, and that's always been a part of my game. Is I get a little aggressive and get get low. So I think we're just trying to take that away. I'm a pretty tall guy, so just use that more to my advantage.
You're comfortable handling the puck. Is that something you've worked on?
I'm comfortable?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you
comfortable?
Was I?
You seem comfortable.
You are comfortable.
Oh,
I watched you last night. You made 2 great plays with the puck, kind of looked off the D and made good backhand, looked off the forward and made good backhand passes to your D partner.
Yeah, I felt comfortable. I've always been really scared of playing the puck, so I was just trying to go out there and just doing it, and it was kind of working out for me.
I guess if you're comfortable, like Marty Brodeur, Eddie Bell, it looked like there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
But if it's not second nature, I would imagine the fear is, no.
No,
you go back there. And,
it's intimidating, for sure. Especially when it's your second game, you don't want to mess up.
No.
Give them a freebie.
Not at all. Well, Logan, this has been a great visit with you. Congratulations again. That's just awesome stuff last night, and continued success here along the way.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks,
very much.
Logan.
All right, Logan Thompson joining us from the Vegas Golden Knights. Picked up his first win in the NHL last night in San Jose. Dave Goucher along with Gary Lawless. Lots more to come. We're going to get into a little bit of what Pete DeBoer had to say in his morning press briefing earlier today on the threshold of a big milestone in the career win department. That's after this on Fox Sports Las Vegas.
Give it what they hate to do. If I do not try, then I will have failed, and I can't afford not to make a move. I was told I was not good enough. I was told I was not capable. I had to sit and just ask myself, what you gonna let this make you roll? Everything that I've been working for is right in front of me. I would not ever let go. Using negativity as energy for me as I travel alone on this road. They didn't see the vision, they didn't understand. I went the distance, no helping hand. And my gift got me sitting on top, and I'm about to show them now they cannot hold me down. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is yours, so what will you choose? If you give it your all, you got nothing to lose. When you a winner, you learn from your losses. We came from the bottom and now we the bosses. The future is mine, so what did I choose? Look, I grind every day, I got something to prove.
Great to have you with us here. The Golden Knights, a little break in their schedule. It's kind of been how their schedule has gone in the month of February, but as we said, they'll more than make up for that in March and April. They'll play 29 games in 60 days. Dave Goucher with Gary Lawless. Great to have you with us on this President's Day Monday. A reminder for you that you could be one of the first to join the Vegas Nighthawks family. Secure your seat selection priority today by placing a refundable $20 deposit at nighthawksfootball.com. Full season membership will start at just $10 per ticket per game at the Dollar Loan Center, opening soon, located in Henderson. Great to have a little visit with with Logan Thompson. He is more than paid his dues. And said about 100-ish texts last night from family, friends, the whole 9 yards. Great stuff. Great. So 7th goaltender ever, right, for the Golden Knights to win a game. Fleury, Subban, Leonard, Dansk, Legacy. There's one more in there.
Brossoit.
And the Brossoit fellow. Yep. He's
Dylan Ferguson never got a win?
Nope.
No.
Nothing yet for Dylan Ferguson.
That's right. He played in Edmonton. I believe it was Edmonton. And
First year.
And they got shelled. Did he start or did he just come in?
He came in, mop-up duty, third period.
That's right. Because I can remember we went in to interview him after the game, and he had this, it was really quiet in the dressing room, and then everybody was gone except for Pierre-Edouard Bellemare and Dylan, and we're about to start interviewing Dylan, and he's not smiling. He's all dour, and then Bellemare walks up and says, "Fergie, you're allowed to smile. You just played in your first game, okay? Enjoy it." And then the smile broke onto his face, and it was a good little moment.
Yeah, he was the 5th of the 5 they used in that first year.
They used
5 in a month and a half.
Yeah.
Right? So
that was surreal.
It was nuts. Fleury got hurt against Detroit, got kneed in the head by Anthony Mantha, right?
Yeah.
And a break to the net, missed 2 months.
Yeah.
We know the rest
Subban
of the story.
gets hurt a couple games later. Dance comes in, he gets hurt, and I always
it's unreal.
Recall Maxime Legacy, those games that he won were very important. He helped. I think he had 8 wins. It seems 16 points sticks out to me.
Yeah.
That he helped the team collect. You take those 16 points out, and they're barely a playoff team instead of a division champion.
All right, let's hold on there, Lawman. Everything's at our fingertips these days.
Sure.
So Max Legacy, that first year, he went 6, 7, and 1. So that's 13 points.
13
anyways.
points.
Yeah,
Sorry.
which is not insignificant.
Close.
13 is. Yeah, the whole thing could have gone down the tubes, right?
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Remember, we were in Dallas. It was the father's trip. I can remember. Fleury showed up in Nashville. We hadn't seen him, and then we're at the bar in Nashville.
Right.
And
Shockingly,
it's the father's trip. So the guys go out that night, and they're because they normally don't. You don't see them out at those places on the road anymore. Not in today's NHL, anyways.
And not the night before.
No,
right?
Exactly, yeah. But there he was standing there and had a smile on his face. And then, so Subban won in the shootout in Nashville. And then Legacy played the next night in Dallas and won. And then literally, we interview him. And then someone says, "Hey, you got to go talk to Kelly." And he goes, talks to Kelly McCrimmon. And then we get the announcement. He's been sent to Chicago, reassigned to Chicago.
Yeah.
It's a cold game sometimes.
Yeah, and he from that day forward, right?
Yeah.
He played 1 game with Vegas.
Yeah.
18, 19, he played 1 game in year 2. That was it. Had a good one with Chicago Wolves and the whole 9 yards. But, now with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay / Syracuse. A couple games with Tampa this year.
Yeah.
But so I mentioned Pete DeBoer, Gary. Now, I didn't know this until it was brought up this morning. Sitting on 499 career wins as an NHL head coach. Also closing in on 1,000 wins, 1,000 games coached in the league. He's at 984 right now. We talk a lot about players and others paying their dues. Pete DeBoer coached 13 years in the Ontario Hockey League. Detroit Whalers, Plymouth Whalers, and the Kitchener Rangers before breaking through. His first job was with the Florida Panthers, and he was asked about it this morning, and he just said, I asked him, what do you remember about your first win? He goes, I don't remember the first win. So I said, well, you can look up anything these days, and they blew out the Islanders 6-0 in his NHL debut. But he was saying that it wasn't until November into December they picked up points in 9 of 10, and that's when he started to click. Okay, we're playing the right way, we're getting results, we're doing the things that you need to do to be successful. But what a run it's been for him. Think about Florida, New Jersey, San Jose, and obviously now Vegas. His next win, which could come as early as Friday in Arizona, would be 500 in the NHL.
Yeah, he will tie Hector Toe Blake in wins if he gets that next win. The one area he's not going to catch Toe in for a while would be the 8 Stanley Cups. Toe was second only to Scotty Bowman, who has the 9. Toe, of course, won all of them with Montreal. Scotty won a bunch with Montreal, a couple in Detroit, and a couple in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So that's pretty fascinating stuff. Scotty would probably tell you that he's won 11 cups because he's got rings from his consultant role with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Why not?
When his son Stan was the general manager there.
Yeah. The Pete had an interesting angle on this morning. He said, when he first came into the league, so it would have been he got hired in June of 2008 by the Florida Panthers, and 2008, fall of 2008, October of 2008 would have been his first season. He said, coaching in the league at that point, they were just kind of moving away from kind of the Mike Keenan sort of dictatorship.
Doing everything yourself.
Yeah, but, literally, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be 95% what I say and 5% what the coaches play. He said by the time Pete got started in 2008, it was probably 75% of dictatorship. He said now it's 50-50.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership. And he said he likes it more this way because he thought in the old days, there were always walls up.
Yeah.
You never really you knew your players as players. You never really got to know them as people. But he said I think he feels one of the best things that has developed over the years, to use your word, Gary, a partnership. But also, it's much more of a we're all in this together, and other ideas and opinions are welcomed. And it's been a kind of a huge change over the last 10, 15 years in that area.
It's still a young man.
53
or 54, I think. I think 53. I think he's
right
age.
now.
Yeah. And so at 500, could he win another 200 games? Yeah, probably quite easily, which would get him up into the, to where Peter Laviolette is right now. Pete's going to keep winning, of course. Alain Vigneault is at 701, but it would get him right up into the top 10. And at some point in time, the higher you get there, you start to become a Hall of Fame candidate. Like you'd like to win a cup. That's something that certainly helps in that pursuit. But that's 500, a big mark for Pete DeBoer.
Yeah, terrific. Pete's 53, but 54 coming up in the middle of June. One other thing that stuck out to me from the press availability earlier today, he said more than anything right now, the priority for the coaching staff is to get into March and April healthy, refreshed, and ready to go, because their schedule is unrelenting once you hit the 1st of March.
Yeah, and you want to peak at the right time, and that's kind of, Vegas obviously two really good rounds last year, beating Minnesota and Colorado. They were playing good hockey at the right time. I think you go back to year one, the 3rd round, if that had been the Stanley Cup, the way they were playing when they played Winnipeg, they might have had a chance to knock out Washington. They had such success. Swept LA, had a long break. 6 games against San Jose. Had a bit of a break. 5 games against Winnipeg, had another break. By the time they got to that opener against Washington, they had gone stale. They had lost their edge. I think that was listen, I'm not taking anything from Washington. They were really good. But they were fired. Like Washington, the way their power play was playing, Kuznetsov came back, and Holtby was as sharp as we've ever seen him. Everything was going perfectly, and you want to peak at the right time and not and be able to sustain it throughout the playoffs. Well,
Pete made the point the other day. Look, we've seen in times past that winning the President's Trophy doesn't, if anything, it'd be the kiss of death, right?
Yeah.
That's why I was taking a look at it. The last team to win the President's Trophy and win the Stanley Cup in a shortened season was the 2013 Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah. So, anyways, Golden Knights coming up this week. They'll be in Arizona Friday. They'll be back here against the aforementioned Colorado Avalanche on Saturday. You can always pick up the games, of course. Dan and Gary on Fox Sports Las Vegas. Myself, along with going to be Darren Elliott this weekend on TV.
Good addition.
My normal partner, Shane Knight, he's going to have a little mid-season surgery. He'll miss a couple of games, but he'll be back before we know it. Thanks for tuning in on this Monday. Thanks to Logan Thompson for joining us as well on Fox Sports Las Vegas.